Hey everyone, it's Ellie. I have this habit of picking up books, reading a couple of pages of them, and then putting them down. So today I've picked out a couple of books that I wanted to show you and that I've done that with, and sort of describe a few of them, why I think I put them down, and then I've set a little challenge for myself which I'll talk about at the end. So I've picked out 8 to show you, and the reason for that number will become apparent later on. But let's just get started. So I've got Just a Girl by Kirsten Krauth. I actually met Kirsten, I won this book in a giveaway, and then I met her at Clunes like 3 years ago, and I got this signed, and she was really lovely, and now I need to read this. I read the first 20 pages, but it's about a girl who it's basically like Lolita with a webcam is how it's described on the back. The first chapter is incredibly intense. The main character Layla is 14, and she goes to meet this guy that she met on the internet, and it's very, very intense, disturbing, but I think it's still going to be a very interesting book, even though I think it's going to be one that's going to take me a while. Even though it's quite thin, I just think the subject matter is quite uncomfortable. But I definitely want to read it. Then I have Wither by Lauren DiStefano. I've read 16 pages of this, and I've literally stopped midway through a chapter, which annoys me. I don't know why I put this down. I know a lot of people have negative reviews of this series and of a lot of other of her books, but I follow her on Twitter, and she started doing videos on YouTube, and I really like her as a person, so I want to read her books now. And yeah, this is the only one I own of hers so far, but there are a lot of other ones that I want to buy, so I'm going to get through this first, and yeah, we shall see. I also have this Dylan Thomas omnibus by Dylan Thomas. This has Under Milkwood, which is a play he wrote, his poems, stories and broadcasts. Dylan Thomas lived in Wales during the Second World War, and that's where his broadcasts were during that time, and he wrote a lot of stuff in that period as well. I kind of have an obsession with Dylan Thomas, even though I haven't read this. There's a movie with Keira Knightley, and it's called The Edge of Love, and it's about Dylan Thomas's life, and I just really loved that movie. So yeah, I read the first 20 pages of this as well. Seems to be a theme, and it's got a very strange font in it, and it kind of threw me off. It's very small and it's a little hard to read, but I am going to get through this. I'm going to. I also have, kind of staying with that theme, Resistance by Owen Shears. This is another book about Wales. I love Wales so much, guys. This is sort of like a alternate history where the Germans invade Wales. There's this little town, and all of the men have gone, but all the women are still there, and it's kind of like what's going on there. And I've read 50 pages of this, and I really enjoyed what I read, but I put it down to start a readathon, I think it was, and I just didn't pick it back up. But I love World War II, I love Wales, so it's gonna happen. And then I have, this one is kind of embarrassing. I have the three Jacobean tragedies, which is The Revenger's Tragedy, The White Devil and The Changeling. This is embarrassing because I've read 2 of the 3 plays, And I've started the last one. I in fact got 5 acts in, but I still haven't finished it. What am I doing, Ellie? I don't know. These last 3 kind of make more sense as to why I haven't finished them. They are huge. So let's start with this one. The first one I have is The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. As you can see, I have actually read quite a way through this. In fact, I have read 240 pages, and I have this super cute bookmark I made, which is slightly bent, which has Remus and Tonks, and they're my 2 favourite characters. So I was enjoying this. I know a lot of people didn't, but it's huge, and I put it down and I didn't pick it back up. The good news is I can kind of remember what was happening, like nothing overwhelmingly exciting happened in those 240 pages. But I mean, it's J.K. Rowling, so I am going to finish it. These 2, looking back at it now, these were a bad place to start with these particular authors. So I have The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson and The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. Since starting these, I have actually read books by both of these authors. I read The Emperor's Soul and Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, which I loved both of, and I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which I adored. And I just got a message. But yeah, these are huge books. They just weren't good places to start because I didn't know sort of like the author's styles. I mean, they're not bad. I didn't dislike them at all. I loved them. But it was just, I wish I started with the ones that I ended up finishing first. So I do definitely want to read those now because I loved those books. So I got 128 pages into this one, and I read that for Dewey's 24-hour readathon, all of those pages. I don't know, like 6 rounds ago or something. It's been a while. And then I was reading this book on the train when I would go and stay at Michelle's house. It's like a 2-hour train ride between our houses. So I did get to page 235, and I think that was like 2 train rides there and back. So I made a reasonable sized dent in it, but I just didn't finish it. So the reason I picked 8 is because I am challenging myself to finish all those books by the end of 2016. And I picked 8 because there are 8 months left in the year, so I thought sort of like a book per month situation. Knowing me, I probably won't stick to that, and there will be months that I read 3 of the books and then I'll go months without reading any of them. But it's just sort of like, the idea is there. Especially books like The Goldfinch and The Final Empire and The Casual Vacancy that are going to take me a while to read. I sort of want to have some of those short ones to sort of like filter in, basically. So that's the plan, really. I would like to know if you guys do this too. Do you guys pick up books and then just not finish them